But I'm my Romeo and Juliet moment. What's in a name? A rose by any other name could smell as sweet, right? How did I name More Movement, Please? That's a question I get a lot of how in the world do you name your podcast? How do you come up with a name? And honestly, the way that I came up with the name More Movement, Please is because I kept saying it. Whenever I got serious about my fitness journey, I literally kept saying, More movement, please. Like I was so excited to be moving my body that I literally was saying More Movement, Please so much that I wrote it down and I was like, that's the name of my podcast. That's what I'm going to go with. And for my Bloggy Friends show, the way that that started is way back in 2014, whenever I wouldn't say I was still a baby blogger. I was kind of an intermediary at that point, but I started calling people my bloggy friends. I went to my very first blogging conference in 2014 and I was talking to people and saying, I want you to be my bloggy friend. And I kept saying bloggy friend, like it kept coming out of my mouth. It kept coming up. And so when I finally launched my podcast in 2020, I was like, well, it only makes sense. It's got to be called the Bloggy Friends Show because I want to talk to my bloggy friends about blogging. So, what I want you to do is start thinking about what name makes sense for you. Some schools of thought will tell you, "Oh, well, you gotta think about something that's gonna be SEO friendly, or you gotta think of something that includes the keywords." And that is true to an extent, but it's also gonna be something that you're gonna be excited to say. It's gonna be easy to remember. It's gonna be short and sweet, and people will be able to type it in when they're looking for it. So that's the beauty of the More Movement Please is I'm saying More Movement Please all the time, and so it's easy to remember. It's only 3 words, and it actually tells people what my show is about. It talks about More Movement, Please. The Bloggy Friends Show, when people hear that phrase, they know that it's about people who are bloggers that are, friends or that I wanna be friends with. And so start thinking about it from that perspective. And I mean, some people will tell you you could go to ChatGPT or Claude and put in a bunch of names, or there's podcast name generators and all that stuff. But I think what you'll find if you start sitting down and like really brainstorming a bunch of ideas, you'll come up with one pretty easily. Another thing you can do is you can actually ask people that are in your industry for ideas for your name, or you could ask friends and family or people that are in your industry that you're considering like actually interviewing. Put out a survey, ask for ideas. I mean, some of the best ideas come from asking other people what they think, but make sure that you don't just stick to a name that you don't like. What I mean by that is don't choose a name just because so many people are recommending it to you if it doesn't feel right. And you'll know if it doesn't feel right. If you don't like get excited at the idea of telling that name over and over again, you're not going to use it and you're not going to enjoy talking about it. So that's what I highly recommend you do. I hope these tips were helpful for you. If you are thinking about starting a podcast of your own, I want you to go to famousashleygrant.com/car. I'm giving all my tips and tricks of how you can start a podcast of your own. Come back tomorrow and we'll talk about it some more.